Hello, Weil Alumni. I'm Jakub Wronski, co-managing partner of the Boston office and a partner in our private equity group here at Weil. In this edition of the Weil Alumni Interview Series, I'm excited to speak with Rose Constance, the Director of Business Operations and Strategy at Amazon Global Robotics. Rose started her career with Weil as an associate in the Boston office from 2007 to 2015 before going in-house at Amazon. She has since served in multiple roles at Amazon and was most recently promoted to her current position in 2022. On an individual note, Rose and I have worked on many transactions together. She has been my associate mentor for the 4 years we overlap here at Weil, and I'm just personally incredibly excited to speak with her today. Rose, thank you for joining us for this interview.
Thanks, Jacob. It's really nice to be here. It's nice to see you.
Maybe to start off with, can you just give us a little bit of your background and share with us why you wanted to work in the legal profession?
Sure. I don't have a super noble origin story, but maybe it's relatable to a lot of people. I went to college and I majored in history and French literature. And when it was time for me to get a job, I didn't think I could get one. So I went to law school. And that ended up being a great decision and it worked out really well. And I did my summer associate job at Weil in the PE department. And I stayed around for a long time and just sort of happened to stumble into a really, really great career that I ended up being pretty well suited for a long time.
And when you decided to make the transition in-house, can you talk about that thought process and how you went about making the decision to go into Amazon? Was there a specific interest that sparked your or experience at Weil that sparked your interest in tech innovation or going in-house working for a tech company?
Sure. Yeah. So I will say, like, I knew I wanted to go work at a company. I was kind of interested in being embedded in a business. And, what I loved about being a private equity lawyer was you get to kind of like go peek into a company, into an industry for, 2 to 5 to 12 months, and then go pop into the next one, like as you work on deals. But I kind of wanted to like stick around somewhere, get in a little bit deeper. And I will say, I thought that I needed to still be an M&A lawyer when I went in-house. And so initially I was like trying to find an acquisitive company where I could sort of do the exact same thing, but do it at a company. And I ended up getting a job at Amazon and Amazon Robotics that was not an M&A job. It was a real generalist role. And I took it because I just really liked the hiring manager. Her name was Kelly Rydell. And I just like sort of rolled the dice and I was like, maybe I'll figure it out and maybe I'll learn about technology. And so I guess that'd be like I would want people to know that like you learn something really specific at a firm. You don't have to do that same specific discipline forever. It's possible to sort of learn how to do other things. And what I like about it now is like I've been working at Amazon for 10 years now, and I'm still uncomfortable all the time because I'm not an engineer. I wasn't even a IP lawyer or patent lawyer or anything like that. But I've learned a lot, and I learn every single day. And jumping into kind of uncomfortable situations has gotten more comfortable for me. So even though I am not a sort of roboticist by education or by birth. I've sort of become one over time, and it's been a really fun experience.
So maybe talk a little bit about what your current role at Amazon entails. You've done as you alluded to, you've done a bunch of things. You've started at Amazon Robotics in a legal role, and then since have moved into more business role. What is your current role?
Yeah. I've had a couple jobs since I joined Amazon in the legal team. The first like sort of big transition I made was in 2018. I was asked to lead the supply chain organization for Amazon Robotics. So it's like a mechanical, electrical supply chain, like we do manufacturing. So I went from being an individual contributor in the legal department to leading an organization of what became like 130 people who are all supply chain professionals. And I did that through COVID, which you may remember was like a very exciting time
Yeah.
to work in supply chain. So I did that for 4 years and I learned all about sort of like operations and manufacturing. Um, and then was sort of asked again to just take on a different role. And that's the role I have on now. I have now. It's a little bit of a, um, I've got a bunch of different responsibilities, and the way I describe it is so at Amazon, every VP sort of really runs their own business. They're sort of like a CEO of their own company. And so I work for a VP named Scott Dresser. He leads Amazon Robotics. And I am in charge of, to just kind of paraphrase, I'm in charge of like the effective operation of the Amazon robotics business. So I have a bunch of different responsibilities in that space. I do all of the like strategic and resource planning. I help decide what work we're going to do every year. I do like learning and development and central program management and employee experience and real estate and facilities, a lot of different things. And then sort of tacked on to all of those kind of central operations responsibilities. I also lead an organization that does machine learning and computer vision human
Wow.
annotations. So I've got a team of many people who are kind of spread globally who provide human annotations for our machine learning robotic solutions.
It's very long way since, you and I used to do deals and repeat like all the words you're using. I have no idea what you're talking about, but it's super interesting. Well, just maybe then talk a little bit about that though, right? Because again, it's such a unique path and your role has expanded so much over the years. Are there any skills or experiences from your time at Weil that you draw upon or that you find particularly helpful? Some of the alumni listening to this interview or while attorneys, may find that insight helpful.
Totally. Like every day, I still lean on all the things I learned as a lawyer. And the ones that jump out at me the most are um, the like just judgment that you have to develop, especially like jumping from different deals, like learning about new industries. Maybe the structure of the transaction that you're leading is similar each time, but the nuances are all different. And you have to figure out what questions to ask. You have to be comfortable, like accepting that you don't know everything and trying to figure out what you don't know. I think there's a lot of judgment that you acquire as a lawyer and as a private equity or an M&A lawyer that I use all the time. Like probably really one of my standout skills is that judgment. And
Hmm.
yet the other standout skill that I learned that probably is like second nature to every single person that works at Weil, but is not second nature in general in the professional world is the like impeccable level of customer service and follow through that we're as summer associates, as first year associates, it becomes really deeply ingrained really quickly. So like you get an email, you're asked to do something, you respond to the email and you say, I can't do this right now, but I will do it by X date. Like not everybody learns how to do that when they're, like 25 years old and carries it with them for the rest of their career. But if you work at a law firm, you do. And following through on the things you say you're going to do. We have Amazon has these corporate tenets that we really like called leadership principles, and two of them are earn trust and customer obsession. And I'd say as a lawyer, especially working at a firm like Weil, customer obsession and earning trust with your colleagues is like it's just such a great training ground for building those qualities, and those have always come really naturally to me in my time at Amazon thanks to all the work with my colleagues at Weil.
That's super interesting. Thanks for sharing that, Rose. Going more into your time at Weil, were there any particular mentors or attorneys that had an impact on your career here or beyond?
Yeah, I mean everybody did. I mean you did, Jacob. I loved working with you.
Thank you.
I so I got to work with like Dave Duffel and Jim Westra, who are just like these
Hmm.
tiny right? I get to like, I did a ton of deals with Dave. I learned so much from him. Jim's approach and style, just like unparalleled. But I'd say like from a really practical perspective, like the people who I think I draw on for my own style, my own like sort of leadership approach, it's probably like a combo of Ramona Nee and Marilyn French and Shayla Harlove. Like
Hmm.
three very different styles, but uh, I sort of like summon them often. I mean, Shayla was such a shrewd negotiator and a tough customer. Marilyn just, I mean, just brilliant lawyer and really good with like a joke and to like break the tension. Ramona's just this like incredibly hard worker who with kind of like a gentle approach, but who could just get so much done. I really try to like I think of the three of them. And like almost every week I'm kind of like pulling from one of the history books on things I learned from them.
Yeah, and very very. I feel like all three of them have been very commercial, and I also big part of my career here. Maybe just getting a little bit more about your own personal experience at Y. So you obviously did a lot of pro bono during your time here. I remember working on United Way projects with you. Can you talk about your approach to pro bono while at Wild? What like why was it so meaningful to you? Why you spent so much time working on it?
Yeah, I mean, I think that at Weil at any law firm, we're given such like a rich education, right? Like you arrive and you've already gone to law school, and that's an incredible like sort of set of skills you've learned. And we just get this like really deep and robust education and like to not use it sometimes to to benefit people who could really need it would be crazy. So I love doing pro bono work at Weil. I did lots of different types of pro bono work. What I liked about it was you could learn how different types of organizations worked, and you could like take your skills that you brought to these like big for-profit companies, and you could help companies that operate differently, and you could learn while you were doing it. And it was also a great way to just like learn about a different area of law that you didn't have a ton of experience in, because we did kind of like work in the same space in terms of
Hmm.
legal discipline. But I got to work on like some immigration cases, and I learned about that, and I still sort of draw on that expertise that I learned all those years ago. So I think it's an incredible way to use the skills that you have developed, that have sort of been bequeathed upon you at Weil to help other people, but then you can kind of benefit from it yourself just by learning about like different pockets of the world and gaining some new skills. So I love that about Weil. The commitment to pro bono is always like one of my favorite things about the firm.
Yeah. And then maybe finally, just one last question is as you sort of progress with your career, managing people and all the demands that takes, having large teams working with you, how do you maintain the right sort of level of whether it's work-life balance or just mental well-being, just making sure that you're, able to come into work and be effective both at work and in your personal life?
Yeah, I think this is sort of like a pay it forward thing, especially as we get more senior in our careers. I'm sure you kind of experience that too, but I always like reflect on this experience I had working on a deal with I was like a mid-level associate. I was working with Cody Tibbetts, who was a senior associate at the time. My childhood dog was that still lived at my parents' house was she was on her last legs. Like I needed to go say goodbye to her before she passed
Mm-hmm.
away. And we were supposed to work on a deal all weekend. And I went to Cody and I said, I can work all weekend, but I have to do it at home from my parents' house because the
Mm-hmm.
dog is dying. And Cody said to me, he was like, Rose, just go home. We'll cover the deal. You're not in 5 years, you're not even going to remember this deal. You're going to remember your childhood dog. So he sent me home and he didn't even let me work all weekend. And I I think about that all the time, both when making decisions for myself and when I'm talking to people who report to me about managing their life. Like you have to kind of step back, and I don't remember the name of that deal. I think the deal died, as many of them do. And I got to say goodbye to my dog, and that was so the right decision for him to make, and for me to let him make that for me. And like, we kind of have to take care of each other, is I guess what I'm saying.
Totally.
Like,
Yeah.
we work in industries where people are really committed, and they really want to do the right thing, and they want to achieve. And sometimes we just need to remind each other to have the perspective. Like, a lot of people are really good about protecting the time, but you work with people who want to do well. Sometimes they're going to need the reminder. And so I try to give a lot of reminders, and I try to be open to the reminders I get from my colleagues and my boss, and anyone else who wants to take care of me. So that's what I sort of try to put out of the world. I try to like invoke Cody whenever I'm faced with one of those situations. And I think if we all do that, we can all have a better balance in our life and our careers.
Yeah, you use the word pay it forward, but like another way maybe to think about it is just like it's a team effort, right? So just covering
Right.
for each other, being there for each other. Stuff comes up all the time, and recognizing that you're helping someone out today, that person's going to turn around and help you tomorrow is definitely the approach I try to take as well. Well, thank you so much, Rose. I mean, really appreciate you sharing your experience at Amazon, your time at Weil. It was great to reconnect with you.
Yeah, you too. It's
Um,
great to see you, Jacob.
yeah, yeah. So I guess we wish you all the best, and to the Weil alumni, thank you for joining us. And stay tuned for future programs and interviews like this one.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Rose.